Hey, welcome to Florida's Fourth Estate. We have such an interview for you today that has really captured the attention of the world. So I want you to imagine you go to your kid's school, you volunteer there for 5 years, and then all of a sudden, something comes out about you that keeps you from going to the school. Not that you're a hardened felon or you deal drugs, but that you have an OnlyFans account. So this has been very fascinating, and we have them on the show today, and it should be an interesting conversation, Ginger.
Yeah, Matt, it really should be. We're talking about Victoria Treese, and we're joined by her now and her attorney, Mark Nejame, to talk about how this got the attention of so many people. Thank you so much for joining us. Victoria, I'll start with you. You have been doing everything the right way. You're volunteering at your kids' elementary school, and all of a sudden one day you can't do that anymore. Can you tell us how it unfolded?
Yes, so I was going into the building to volunteer in my youngest son's class to do pumpkin day. And I walked in and I was pulled in by the principal, and she said that I no longer can be in the building anymore.
And did she give you a reason at that point? Like, did she say why, or she just said, you can't be here right now?
I was told an anonymous email got sent in that contained photos from my OnlyFans.
An anonymous email, and that was enough to keep you, a mom who's been volunteering for 5 years at your kid's school, from entering the building. Okay, so now I wanna ask Mark, are you guys allowed to know who that anonymous person was? Because my next question is that person in trouble? Because if they are looking at an OnlyFans and they're probably a parent, I mean, how did it come to be?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many issues that are really involved with your question. Uh, the fact is if they're going to kick out Victoria, why are they not kicking out other people who are actually going to the site? And then, if in fact it was a parent who sent these pictures, then it's our position that's a violation of Florida law to be sending such pictures. And the school has seemingly denied that they're the ones that sent the pictures to the media, but yet we have proof to show that in fact they did. So this is really wrapped in a lot of real questionable activity by the school board, and we're getting to the bottom of it. We filed a lawsuit, and we are claiming that a multitude of Victoria's rights have been violated, and we will know more once we in fact go through the discovery process. But we do know that this came, and we believe we know who it was sent, who sent it. We're not going to disclose that in case we're wrong, but we'll know in due time, and that name will come out in due time, because we believe that was a violation of the law, as we believe it was a violation of the law for the school board to send out the information to the media. What's baffling about it is that for 5 years she was a volunteer, and we can't get enough volunteers in our schools now. So here you've got somebody, and nobody knew what she was doing in her free time. And the only bar to being involved in the Additions volunteer program is if you have a conviction. She's never been arrested, let alone convicted of anything. And I want to say one thing. Victoria was told this by her principal, but the principal was told to do this by the school board. We are not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that the principal had anything to do with this. She's been really quite magnanimous and professional throughout. So she was simply following her directions.
So my question is for Victoria. It's not illegal to have an OnlyFans page. Many people do, millions of people do, and it can be quite lucrative. When you heard that you couldn't come to the school that day and you had to go back home, what what was going through your mind?
I was just devastated. That was like my biggest, it'll make me really upset to talk about, but that was my biggest pride and joy. And my life was going there, like getting to spend that time. The reason that I did OnlyFans was not to get a 9 to 5. You can't have a 9 to 5 and commit to being in the school every day, or at least multiple times. Like, it's difficult to do that. And I didn't want to not be able to do that. So being told like, oh, you no longer are allowed to come here and do that, what you love to do, it's just heartbreaking. I was heartbroken. I sat in the parking lot crying for an hour, I would say.
Yeah,
Mm.
Victoria, and I would imagine you're heartbroken because of your kids. I mean, this is time you get to spend with them. So, how have you noticed an impact on your kids with you not being able to come into the class and volunteer like you were before?
Oh, 100%. It's I plan the parties that my kids see me plan the parties at my house, and then I take the stuff and I drop it off at the school in front, or I take it to a friend's house for them to take it. And then all the other parents get to go in, and my kids are the one that get in the car after a Christmas party or just end of the year party, and they're like, why aren't you there? You did it all. Why can't you be there? The other parents are all there. You're not there.
Wow. And do they even understand what's going on? What have you told them?
They know very vaguely what's going on. Um, my youngest is very young, and my oldest is still very young, so they know briefly.
And I was talking to my wife about this earlier, and she was like, I wonder if there was a guy who maybe stole from his company, or if maybe he owned a strip club or something like that, and he tried to come in and volunteer, if they would stop him or anybody would care. She doubted that anyone would. Mark, do you think there's a bit of a double standard in this case?
No, I think there's a quadruple standard in this case, Matt. The reality of it is we're dictating, and it's very frightening. We're dictating morality in people's private lives. What she does, that's not illegal. It's legal what she does, and she does it on her own time. And they're saying, no, we don't like what you do in your own time, and we're making a unilateral decision to bar you, to basically ban you from seeing your children, from participating in something that you love and enjoy and you're helping other students with. It's the old-fashioned scarlet letter.
But I'm sure there are people watching this who are going to say, why doesn't she just do something else? Why doesn't she find a different kind of career, and then she could go and volunteer with her kids and be there? What would you say to those people?
I would say that what I do is none of their business. Like, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not being a bad person. I'm doing a job. I have infinite time with my kids. I'm a single mother with two boys that I'm the one that takes them to school. I'm the one that picks them up. I'm the one that travels with them. I'm the one that does essentially everything for them. Like, this is the only way that I can have that free time and still be there with them as much as possible.
She's still contributing. She goes and gets books and school supplies and buys them out of her own money and takes them to the school, but then has to meet in her car outside the building where somebody comes and gets it. So they're very happy to take what she's giving and the contribution she continues to make, but she's not allowed on the property, not allowed to go inside and see the children, although she's still contributing. It's just the epitome of hypocrisy.
Yeah, I would imagine that takes away from some of the gratification. It's not easy to put together that stuff and to spend your own money. Then you don't get to see the kids enjoying it, Victoria.
Oh, 100%. And I just think what doesn't make sense to me is I can go and I can go with just my child on a field trip, but I can't go and all the other kids are around. Everyone's there. It's a field trip, but I'm not allowed in that building. It's twisted. It makes no sense.
So her kids are young, but they're not going to be young forever. The legal system sometimes really does drag on forever. Are you going to be able to find a resolution to this while her kids are still in elementary school?
You know, who knows how far this case will go. The school board continues to fight this and I simply don't understand why. So the answer is we're going to take it as far as we need to take it. And if that means that we go to the Supreme Court one day, we'll go to the Supreme Court one day.
We're going to be watching this case very closely, as the world is. Victoria, the last question, I just want to wrap it up with you since you're at the center of this whole thing. What would be like the perfect ending? What would be the perfect solution to your case?
To know that there was a change made, to know that this won't happen to a mom, a dad, another parental figure in a child's life, or to the parent or the person raising the child. That's all I want. I want to change.
All right. Well, we'll have to see if it happens. Mark Nejame, Victoria
Yeah.
Treese, thank you so much for joining us on Florida's Fourth Estate. We'll, again, be watching this case very closely, and it'll probably have an impact not just on Florida, but I would imagine the entire country with the things we're seeing in schools right now.
And thank you for watching Florida's Fourth Estate. You can download it from wherever you listen to podcasts or watch anytime on News 6 Plus.